Greetings, it's Intuitive Jacob, your shaman and cosmic midwife, and I'm back to do your daily reading. Gonna take a little look at some of the cosmic opportunities with Pluto going direct in just a few hours here for some of us, and what this past 5 months has been about. We'll also be taking a look at some messages with the Sibyls and a little help from Archangel Gabriel, and I'll be back in just a sec. Hey, how you doing? It's good to have you here. So I will just say, first of all, thanks to those of you all that are here live with me in private Halo 8. And thanks to those of you that'll catch this later on DTube and YouTube and wherever else I upload it. Wanted to make you aware too, I'm putting a link here below and also at the end of this video. I just uploaded 12 new videos, one for each of the 12 tribes, with a look at what this first fortnight, the 1st to the 14th in October, are all about. So I'm recommending check out your sun, your moon, and your rising. There were a lot of really interesting messages that came through for all y'all. So today, Wednesday, where we stay wedded to the new view of all those things that maybe we didn't know could come true. And what a harsh past 5 months has been like for some of us in a roundup where we've been collecting our energy to figure out what we can do to make things more perfect in our worlds. You know? What would that be like? I wanted to go ahead and just give us some opportunities to take a look at that and talk a little bit about what these charts have to show us, because we actually have really nice opportunities here. I'm going to show you two of these. This is basically where I have been bridging on today, and so we're going to look at a couple different parts of the passage of the moon, told from the perspective and the storyteller of the guy that's actually speaking on behalf of 20 degrees Capricorn. As Pluto here, but as the mouthpiece, because my Mercury is actually located at 20 degrees Capricorn. So I'm kind of walking you through from the perspective of a guy that actually technically died, was killed, and has had to come back, learning about these things and what this past 5 months really has been about. For me, it's very personal, but I can share some of those things with you here too, because I have been conducting a life review, and many of you have been as well. So what is this about? Because when we started this retrograde period, we were actually taking a look at the same degree here, and Saturn just changed degrees too. We were just at 13 degrees. And that has now progressed to 14 degrees Capricorn. And as you know, Saturn was also recently retrograde and now is also direct. And so, as a moon reader, and as a guy that's been calling BS on some of the things we were told about how it really works, you know, that's really nice if you want to share your bread with people that just want to take half and stake you for whatever they're comfortable with you knowing about it. Especially when there's different ways to kind of perfume it and carry the scent along, and why 20 degrees Capricorn is actually what I've been talking about with the perfume genius of how a scent rises in skin, and how you'd have to land in the right bag to be, you know, in the WON Strong Inception. We all have a scent in these, you know, bags that we're in. It's kind of like you're the whoopee cushion that came to life, you know? Sometimes it's kind of like being in a joke, and maybe a little humiliating and sometimes funny. But 20 degrees Capricorn, which is carrying these scents all around, where, you know, it can be a little luscious like that, and maybe, you know, the scents are safe in these forms we choose. we look at what it is to land, you know, what is it to sit and earn? What is Saturn about? Where we have a judgment on how we landed and who actually descended what way. And Capricorn 13, where Saturn just moved from, was known as a very old wrinkled brown paper sack. I'm like, huh. I mean, something they chip down from trees and try to stuff you in the bag and blow some air in there. And why 20 degrees Capricorn, where we wind up and with the full circle has been about, and these like 6 degrees tells us about the many different perfumes that were carried in there, and how in a sound chamber where we didn't get confused with each other, there was no distortion for this to go wrong, like the Tower of Babel would otherwise insist. And why on today, when these things change, we actually see how maybe we recreated a form that didn't previously exist, and why I'm wearing my beads and being rude about it, because today Saturn showed us what it is to be beads carved from human bone, when some of us would rather have been molded from the loving clay. And what the Fun Factory experiment on 2 Fridays in the past of this now recent awakening in WON Strong Inception, we were making sure that we had a way to enter into form that we were happy with and the way it would last. And what it is to be in WON Strong Inception of how that energy is even born in the new ear thing of the you thing, where the earth pig gets to be safe. It wasn't some kind of genetic experiment on cannibalism and bestiality at the same time, to just stick what they wanted in the paste for a naturalized view on what it is to be a master race and be able to create, conjure bodies and do whatever they wanted to. So, beads carved from human bone, and where the sit in the urn never take on a certain form, where someone would wear your skull on a necklace and claim it was just spiritual. You know, it's just spiritual, you know. Demons are spirits too. So we've been figuring out what it is to be like the dinosaur bones that ascended into form, because maybe this cosmic energy has just been changing and we've been deciding what kind of clothes we want to be in. The gold rings baked into a cake might look like if you were the thing that was being baked in Love's Kitchen, darling, and how some of you are actually made of alluvial gold concentrate, which is gold dust, you see, what might be in your skin. Why Capricorn 18, a black leopard with green eyes, might actually be a little bit like a close-up buddy of mine that you're used to seeing here. It's not so dangerous, you know. It's one of my shadow spirits that I travel with when we're making sure that people that have an insidious suggestion of self-importance and abuse of power, that think that they've arisen, get taken out on superlatives with the Capricorn 18 degree vision. And why those that wanted to eat that piece of bread, that half-eaten piece of bread, maybe where there were 6 in these degrees that never turned into a 12-hour clock to hack into your 12-strand DNA and put you on a genetic wheel of torture that I call the astrological wheel of torture. If you don't realize it was the inside of the both reflective aspects of the brain and what it is that we're doing from the central witness, and why these things like Pluto are happening in the first house of the cosmos now on 6 degrees of separation. You mean the bicameral mind, the bicameral in the cam era where we woke up together, and proof that it was a holographic reflection, and we've been living in the holography and calling in particle parts in a place where nuclear density had nothing to do with the grave that I've learned to thank and what gravity never was. And why it's the house of 7 for the cosmic chi to show what 1 degree means on a 7, lifting the veil like this for you and me. And so, what rises in that scent of 6 degrees or number 12 that spent themselves on two sides of their brain as folds where there might have been, within, an answer to everything, and in some cases, an alternate view of you, or a twin, unspoken partner arising from the same skin. Why, I'm going to just go ahead and read to you 20 here because it's this degree here that we're talking about and what this opposition is all about and why. It's this 13-degree Cancerian magnet that's looking and opposing at 14-degree Saturn to let us know what got lifted and what didn't take a form by being wrapped around bones just because somebody wanted to drape themselves in the skin as the Emperor's new clothes. Capricorn 20, many different perfumes carried by a breeze. We bear with us many past lives, each one complete, autonomous, and emitting its own subtle, special fragrance. There are points along the journey when we must stand together with the whole lineup of our previous selves and follow out the journey they were all leading to. This is a formidable task. There is a lot to live up to. It grants you authority and conviction, and it makes it very hard to get started. In order to get anywhere, you must at times deny the awareness that everybody is there, and do whatever you can do, apparently, on your own. But truly, the depth of experience, the substantive inward development, and the power of your inner drive give it away. You are destiny charged in a larger-than-life fashion. Maybe a new fashion show, and the clothes that you didn't know you chose, and what we can do on a biomolecular level now that we understand these things better by simply infusing within one germ vial that's been hermetically sealed with hexadecimal codes like red, green, and blue. Being self-possessed is your watchword. There is so much to accomplish, and at the center of the journey lies self-knowledge and the overriding determination to clear the karmic slate, to free up what has been trapped and bound, and to come to yourself afresh. This destiny will is guided, cosmically supported, centrally relevant to your whole world, and you will do it. Turn the darkest of hours into the brightest breakthroughs by refusing to stop anywhere or to back down from your resolve to wake up this time and get on with the greater path at long last. Wow. So that's what we're learning. This is the degree that we have risen from, where we claim descent, literally, through the breeze that we share. The Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, what happened when we spirit ourselves from 13 to 20 here. And now, let's see, what's this magnet all about here? Because Cancer, 7th house, and the cosmic look at this now, is at the degree of 13. Where we don't get confused in the Tower of Babel because of many scents. We have scents now. And what is the liftoff magnet? It's on 13. Many voices singing different songs at the same time. Oh, here's some of you asking about the book. This is Inside Degrees. Developing Your Soul Biography using the Chandra Symbols by Elias Longstow. I'll read you 13. Some of y'all want the alternate view. Okay. How about we total screens? Alright, we went Minecraft on this, Minecrafted. Witchy. When you touch into a place where timelessness prevails, you're greeted by all the many selves, simultaneously here now. If you can make room for them all, the music they make will prove to be innovative and extraordinary. But if you start to have preferences for some of them over the others, they will compete and clamor and generate dissonance. Kind of like 8 Hertz in the Fibonacci sequence that no longer bickers and fights with itself, that no longer creates cosmic distortions that could entrap children and keep them in hell in some kind of weird Kundalini fashion Hansel and Gretel witchery where we're fed ourselves and some kind of twist that some of us weren't seeing called energetic cannibalism. No, these things don't happen now. Although it may have been hard to resist. Some of us would take the thirst a little longer and sort it out. So, it takes a generous and wide open spirit to be able to contain all that you wish to bring through. It is so easy and tempting, so hard to resist thinking in those ways that label parts of the self wonderful and parts of self terrible, parts of the world optimal, parts of the world trouble all the way. And if you take the overrich mix of your greatly full nature and starts to pick apart the pluses from the minuses, a volatile, seething, and quite overly fermentive brew will be produced. You cannot afford judgments and arbitrary distinctions, biases and special tastes, when facing a larger-than-life world which can come together only if you have no idea how, and let the music play however it will. It's like, how things get created in a world where we speak it into existence, but without the distortions being perpetuated because of the scent that was carried in the breeze, and how we are not confused by what these things are that we learned with Saturn and Pluto in review on those 6 degrees. Those 6 degrees have been well explored. So what is it that you've learned over this recent 5 months? What is it that has been touched in your world? What matters? Where is Pluto located in your chart? What house does Capricorn occupy? These might offer some clues to you about what is changing and why certain things don't get created, and why it's time to stop waiting for things that you might have been ruminating over for this, got 5 on it amount of months, because it's almost like you're ready to put your hand on something now, and whatever it is, it's supercharged with what you've learned, in some cases in what might have been painful sort of ways. For some of this might have felt good, but for some of you all, it's true. It's like, I've been talking to a lot of you. I've had quite a number of private readings come through recently where it's like, I'm glad I know about this now. It's like less pain knowing it, but it's like confronting things that are inconvenient to have to deal with, And so it's like things you'd rather know about than not know about and have affect you more negatively, but still in some cases less than ideal impacts that we've had to suffer through. So has anybody been trying to eat half of your bread? That's the thing that keeps coming up for y'all. It's like all of us. It's like, who's been trying to get in there that doesn't get their hand in there? Doesn't spread this for sale. So big matters are going on right now. There's a certain amount of healing that we are being offered by being willing to take a look at these things. I'm going to read to you what Saturn, having moved just this 1 degree, kind of adds as a distinction here from the book, because it gives you a kind of a picture, paints us a picture. I like it. See what you think of this one. Capricorn 14, and I will just say this is also first house. This is what is being stared down by the magnet right now, what I'm about to read to you, because it's like House of 7. It's like how we manage our partnerships, how we figure out who we're going to get married to. And for me, this is like, if I'm here figuring out if love is even safe to exist here, what is it that I'm going to need in place before I go picking a wife? Because this is like single guy in me that's married to the divine feminine energy that would, you know, pick it this way. So I just read it from that angle, and why we've got this big magnet here, because I'll go back there, show you what I'm looking at. And I'm reading this 14 degree here, first house on Saturn. And why we got this opposition, it's like two big googly eyes from the magnet and the moon and North Node saying, alright, we're following our destiny, this is what's getting done right. Some of these things don't land there. Why it doesn't get planted here unless we say so. This is like the risen one from the dead. It's like what we're growing in our special compost. And for me, this is bio shield stuff. This is how we create a safe baby gate for our biosentience, for our energy. Why it's private halo number 8 and biosphere 7 that we're creating here, where the pH of water is actually the neutrality factor that explains what nobody could understand about any other anomaly, and why it was never safe to actually drink water if we were all waking up because of the nuclear explosion within the halo. So this is actually bioenergetic warfare that we're talking about. Some people call this astrology. Like, this is not astrology that I'm reading you. Right, I might have thrown that turn up there, and it's really a joke. Most people don't find me for that. It's like a small following that's been with me through some of this while we're explaining how to make it safe, where children don't get sacrificed. So certain things don't get planted here. And here's a little bit of a hue on why, because it's the North Node that really speaks to the matters of where we follow our highest destiny, and I'm talking about the cosmic union, and why this is here in the House of 7 on the cosmic cheat today. So, Capricorn 14, what it is to be Saturn, what Saturn is for, checks and balances on what didn't get stuffed in a old brown paper bag and calling it a body for some, you know, weird Perseus Medusa twist on Legend of the Body Snatchers. But here, I'll go ahead and read it to you. Capricorn 14 beads carved from human bone. The body carries memories of every world we've ever been through. These memory strings or beads bind us to the earth. What ear thing is that? You mean the one where we just keep sewing new bodies together? Some of us don't agree to be in that pact. We feel pinned to the spot, responsible for everything that happens around us. Somehow, the one in charge. For we're carrying the continuous memory, the stigmata, the legacy of the nightmare, of the ancient mystery streams, and of forgotten modes of knowledge. We bear the treasures intact. It makes everything count. It means that we cannot get away from ourselves or our fate for a moment. We're compelled to fulfill our vows and to bring into this world the towering, I'll take a tower on this, awareness and strange resonance of the giants, of the ancestors, of the great ones, of the inner ways, never lost, impossible to forget. Wow. So, fascinating. So, what gets lifted off from there? Sounds like a lot of things that we've learned that maybe we don't agree or accept to participate in further. And so, here's the thing about this. In a cosmic awakening, it's like the mind and the energy are connected as one. It's much more powerful than what people thought gravity was. And so, the group mind on this is the liftoff. What got planted on these degrees with us? Well, I know what didn't get planted. We just discussed that now, didn't we? So, amazing time to be awakening and knowing that you are part of where the scent went right and what didn't get just shoved in any old bag, and how your body is actually perfect and wonderful, and it might be your first love. Thank you, body, for loving me and picking me and pulling me in, right? How about these things feel better? How about that, right? How about that? What about that? What about that for your cosmic union? What about that body that woke up around you and said, "You're mine," grabbed you that way? What about that a life path 11 knows about? Two that are one, and some things that people don't see that move a lot faster, even though they might appear to be inert. So, let's see what we can find out about love and other things, because I hear some of you would like to talk about things that the Sabila like to show us, and maybe where we left off, because Sacerdote here is talking about things that people need to know about, that maybe it's pointing at me. Oh, am I the priest talking to you here? They said probably. So, let's see what's sneaking up. Oh, wow. Love. Somebody wants to know about love. Do we have Archangel Gabrielle? Yes. I think she's here. She said, right here with you, baby. So, somebody's been trying to get through, is what I'm hearing for some of you all. There might be some secrets around this love. I'm hearing for some of y'all, might have something to do with somebody's kids or something that created a block between two. And so you're gonna know if that's for you. I will just say, if you do like these styles of readings that I do, I have my information above here where you can book me for a 20-minute. If you'd like something a little longer, I'm actually running a special on my detailed personal readings. They're usually $77 or 45-minute readings. I'm doing them for $55 right now, and I actually will do charts and stuff with you too. So if you're interested in that, information is below. And I'm just going to be clearing up the energy on these cards. Got a little smudge. Hey friends, unfortunately I had to cut that off there because YouTube blocked me for Time After Time being the chosen song for the cards that I've done there. So this is the end of this reading. Thank you for being here, and hit me up if I can do a personal reading for you. Love to hear what you think about what I shared today in the comments below. Thanks so much. I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now. Promise that you'll catch your